All right, welcome back, Travis. Thank you so much for coming in here, blessing us with your
Man,
music
thank
and
you for
playing.
having
You
me.
played a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
originals
yeah.
for us today. They were really good. I
Thanks,
was
man.
vibing a
Yeah,
lot back there,
yeah.
just listening and just taking it all in. You have a good sound. Is it like your original sound? Where's that kind of stem from?
Um, yeah. So I mean, I kind of range. I get a lot of different influences, but I feel like I'm kind of getting into that folky acoustic thing now as I've been doing more of a solo approach. But the Beatles, 60s, 70s, Neil Young. I was really into like Pink Floyd and all the psychedelic stuff too. But it varies. There's a lot of indie stuff, Mac DeMarco, underground. I love jazz, and for me, it's kind of, I guess, you go through kind of phases, right, where you're
Hmm.
enjoying things in the moment, and I like to just, yeah, I don't know, kind of take it as it comes to. But
Heck
definitely like
yeah,
folk, blues, rock background, I would say.
yeah,
It's definitely ingrained in me for sure.
definitely. I know that second song that you played. I don't remember the name of it.
Better yet,
Better
better
yet,
yet.
I was telling you right after, I'm like, I could see myself just cruising on just like a weekend, just going down to the beach or something like that and just
Yeah,
cruising to that song. It's so nice.
yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I noticed I definitely like to do like the dreamy kind of seventh chords and pretty laid back
Hmm.
music. I have a pin on my jean jacket that says sad songs with like a little tape recorder, and it's so funny because I notice as I'm writing, I'm like, I kind of like those somber, kind
Yeah.
of pretty laid back songs. So yeah, that tends to be it.
Heck yeah. No,
Yeah.
I like it. You definitely have a more upbeat feel to the music. So it kind of has that nice contrast to the
Thank you.
to the
Yeah.
rest of it. I really like it. So let me just start off with kind of how you got tell me your story a little bit. How you got into music and then how you got to where you're at now, performing at wineries and, going solo.
Yeah. So I've had a long trek with music. I've done a couple different things. I started when I was a teenager, so like 15 or 16. I wanted to be a drummer actually, and I was living with my uncle at the time, and he had been a bass player and done some stuff with some Christian artists. I think he might have produced at one point in his life, but it's kind of funny as I'm doing this music thing now. I'm seeing there's a lot of music background in my family I didn't really know about. But at the time, I was a teenager, and skateboarding is really what I was into at the time. And I was also back and forth from Orange County and 951 area, and
Hmm.
there's always music on skateboard videos and editing. So I just would always get pumped up to our favorite skate song or whatever it is, and that's kind of what led me to music. But yeah, I wanted to be a drummer. Then I got a guitar gifted to me, so I ended up kind of doing that. And then I spent a lot of time in Orange County watching a lot of like my friends do the band thing.
Hmm.
I was really fortunate enough to be around a lot of cool stuff at a very young age, from like 18 to my early 20s. I was watching like the Growlers and Delta
Oh, heck yeah.
Spirit and watching something in the beginning, kind of go off and do the thing. And I had a friend who was in a band called My Pet Saddle, and
Okay.
they were playing at all the local bars and spots. And looking back on it now, like musically, I was about the same, but I think I just was watching everybody else do it and observing, and it was like, whoa, these guys are all so cool. So I kind of did music behind closed doors for many, many years. Always considered myself a musician, not really a singer,
Hmm.
but I liked to write and stuff. And then I don't know, just eventually as the years kind of came, those bands kind of went off and things kind of shifted. And then me and my group of buddies finally got together, made a band, had a couple accolades. We made an EP. We got to play House of Blues in Anaheim, which was like our big thing. You got
Heck
to
yeah.
sell a certain amount of tickets and
Oh
pay
yeah.
money. And it was cool, man. I was in my young 20s. This would have been like 2011 or 12.
Okay. So that was
Um,
before they moved it to the Garden Walk or wherever they have it
yeah,
now. It's like
yeah,
right across the street.
yeah.
When I got word that they were like closing down the House of Blues, I got so sad.
Yeah, me too,
I was
man.
like,
Because like that was where you go see every big band, and
yeah.
it was just such an experience as a young kid to go up the stairs and like you're in there. So, and for us to play, it was like it kind of came too quick. It was really a big deal for me at that time to have a back room and
Hmm.
doing it legit. When those curtains opened, it was like,
This
like
is legit.
all my
Yeah.
family came. Yeah, and it kind of came quick, and man. But anyways, we had the band.
Hmm.
We played a couple shows like that, and then we ended up kind of fizzling away. I ended up moving back down to Temecula area and kind of put music aside for like the past 5 or 6 years. I really
Okay.
kind of put it on a standstill. I had a handful of songs I've written and completed, but just didn't really want to pursue it, or maybe was kind of stuck in my own way, to be completely honest. And I just started bartending, serving, and kind of just working the grind, and got stuck in that for a few years until a little over a year ago. Just had a few things happen in my personal life that kind of struck a chord where it was like, I should just go for it and try it.
Yep.
Started as just kind of getting in contact with an old friend to record some original music. So I was able to record an EP with 4 original songs on there, and get out to Spotify and platform. I just kind of wanted something to like show for myself, I guess. I was
Yeah.
tired of just like working the job, and I would occasionally talk about music, and people would ask, well, how do we find you? And it's like, I just didn't have anything. It
Yeah.
was kind of pipe dreams. I had like my old band stuff, or I was showing people I was like, I want new, so, but it's weird, man. Everything kind of just fell into one another. I just slowly kind of started playing shows here and there, and
Hmm.
then word of mouth is really good. And I got into the covers and still doing originals, and now we're playing wine country.
There you go. That's
every
awesome.
weekend. Yeah. So
Yeah, I know we were also touching on this too, but the community around too, like just the aspect that it's like in this area specifically, and I'm sure other areas as well, but you can really go pretty far with word of mouth in this area.
Absolutely.
And that's really cool. So now you're recording stuff, right? And,
yeah.
And is it with a label? Is it with a buddy of yours, or how are you going about that?
Yeah, so I've kind of been fortunate. I've met so many people and connections the past year that I've been doing this, and I've kind of had the privilege to kind of pick and choose, and whether it be pricing or just, and I think just connection too, so important, right? When you're working with people. So in the past, my experience has always been like working with a friend at their studio and just kind of minor stuff, and now I've actually met a fellow performer out here in the Valley that also does studio work too.
Oh,
so
heck yeah.
He's been nominated for a couple San Diego Music Awards and different things out here for stuff that he's produced, and just a really, really sweet guy. So yeah, I've been working on a new single with him. It's called Introspection. So that's hoping to release next month. And
we were fortunate enough for you to kind of give us a little taste of that today.
Absolutely.
Definitely a demo, but I'm very excited that you came in here and let us kind of do that for you. So it sounded really, really good.
Man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
What was your inspiration for that song going into that?
So yeah, just kind of like I said, my life's kind of shifted the last year. I've just really been doing a lot of the introspection work. There's like a really popular quote that you always hear from Rumi, and it's like, stop searching in the branches for what can only be found in the roots. Ooh. Kind of thing. And I heard that from a friend of mine as well. And that's something that really has stuck with me, because I think we always kind of seek outward for things. And I know I've been kind of guilty for that too, whether it be substance or gratification or just anything that you're looking for. So these days, I really just kind of keep my head low, and I've just been kind of trying to ask different questions and work on myself, man, that self-love thing too. So as I was writing this song, I'm also getting these great opportunities where I'm driving down 2-lane roads through beautiful backcountry, wine country, and I'm playing my favorite songs. I'm on the way to my gig, and it's like, I really just have a lot of gratitude. Just certain things, like I said, in life that have humbled me, and I'm just so appreciative. So this song is just kind of about just things I've been thinking about the past few months, about, kind of just I think I say a line, daydreaming down 2-lane roads, kind of chasing my dreams, and they're just kind of little epiphanies, little things, are reminders to myself to do the work, but also live for today, man. Have fun, don't overthink stuff too. And I think for us, we're always trying to chase that constant balance of grind. We live in such a society now where it's like go, 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 and you're comparing, right, in social media. So, and I want to be busy and successful, but what's successful, and I think when we stop and we sit and get away from everything too. So it's just about me finding that balance in life and having fun, really just having fun, and enjoying the last few months. So it's kind of like As of Lately was the original title, and it's kind of simply just that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What I've been up to, I'm really fortunate to be able to do this.
That's really cool. And that's important, that mindset of just what is success to you, right? We get so lost in that, money. But even what was it? Bob Marley was asked that one time. He's like, are you rich? And he's like, what do you mean rich?
Rich, yeah.
And it's like, money? No. That's not, I'm not rich. He's like, with people, friendships, relationships. And that was his definition, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the richest man in the world.
Totally. And when people ask you, what do you do for a living? And you tell them music, everyone always has this kind of thing. They don't mean to, but it's like, were you trying to make it? Are you trying to be famous? It's like, I don't know why it always has to be kind of so black and white. But again, I think you have to ask yourself why you're doing it for. Yeah. And the reason I'm doing it for has definitely changed over the past couple of years. And a lot of other doors have opened because I've just kind of allowed my heart to open up and not have such an ego in front of it. And for me, it really is joy and the connection to people, whether I'm playing covers out in a patio at a winery or I'm doing original stuff here. It's like, this is what my God-given talent, if you will, or what I've been given to share. And it's like, I think that should be as simple as that, just making those connections.
Yeah. And it's funny because we can get lost in all of that. The second you turn on your phone, you're kind of like, all right, I'm already comparing to something, right? And then, the algorithms are really good at oh, you like that? We're just going to put that in front of you. And now you're like, well, everyone's doing it, or it's so saturated. And it's like, really?
I looked up a beach cruiser once. It's like, I keep getting these beach cruiser ads. And I'm like, well, I'm getting a beach cruiser. It won't stop. Right? Yeah, they get you for sure.
Right. So, but it's like, it's so easy, and it's easier when you kind of just take that pressure off.
Yeah.
Right. And then just start focusing on it. And then these opportunities start showing up.
Totally.
Right. Nothing's perfect, but it just, so.
And I think too, for me, the busier I get, it's you can't keep it till you give it away kind of thing. You got to save your energy and stuff too. But it took me so long to get where I'm at right now, to where I am gigging constantly. And I finally got over starting anything is the hardest part, right? Yeah. When no one's watching you, no one's patting you on the back, but it's like, I just want to encourage other artists that may have been in the same spot that I was, whether it was just feeling low or not worth it, and just to let them know, like, if you don't feel like you have the resources or you can't do it, like, I'm a perfect example of someone who was just going for it, and it seems to be working. So I think if you do love something enough, you can high risk, high reward kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
But yeah, to help others is like something that's really weighing on my heart too, as I get busier, like other artists, the youth, all that kind of stuff, man. So yeah.
And that was kind of the reason that we started up this studio, this podcast, this experience that we have.
Yeah, you have
Thank
such
you.
a nice setup here. Yeah, dude.
Appreciate that.
So great.
It's like we started making money doing what we do, our bread and butters, marketing, business, brands, and all that other stuff too, right? But at the heart of it all, me and my business partner, we're both musicians.
Yeah.
And so, we were like, okay, we're at a spot now. Our family's taken care of. All the rest is taken care of. Let's start pouring back into artists wherever we can. Because no one did this for us when we were, on stage. If we're ever at a winery and someone's like playing, that's actually how I met Lex. He was just playing one day, and I was filming this other event, but I'm like, here's this acoustic artist. So I just walked over and filmed some stuff for him, and lifelong friend ever since then, and it's like, it's cool because I wish that happened for me. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
and you see that a lot in this day and age too. A lot of people that are kind of, and it's good to see, like, we're all kind of going for it. Like it is a little more welcome now to kind of go chase your dream, man. Go do it. Yeah, give it a shot. So
exactly, and be good at it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
you better
absolutely.
be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's like, you're constantly learning. You're going out. That's a big thing that I say for anyone who's learning video stuff is like, okay, cool. Like, you don't need the fancy stuff. You need the techniques behind it.
Yeah.
Right. Even with like music too, you don't need the nicest guitar at first, right? Just, start playing.
Yeah.
And then when you're good, then get that nicer guitar or whatever it is, right?
Man. And I think appreciating what you have in that moment too, right? Like, you can't expect a better guitar or a better car if you don't kind of appreciate the one you have right now too. So that gratitude and all that stuff makes everything so much easier.
Exactly.
Sure.
So I will ask you now, where can people find you in your music?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, just the basic Facebook, Instagram, all that. Travis Guilliams, that's Guilliams with a G, not a W. Guilliams. I believe it's Travis Guilliams _music on social. But yeah, just look my name up, and there's not too many people with that last name, so you can find me on YouTube. And also, Apple Music, Amazon, all that stuff. But I have an EP out with 4 songs I released last year. I was super excited about, really excited to release some new stuff. We've come a long way vocally, performing so much this past year. So really, really excited to just kick off some new gear and kind of show people what I've been up to. And I've been honed in a little bit more too. So
Heck yeah. And just a quick reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube or anything, of course, all the descriptions are in the, all the links are in the descriptions below. Same with our audio platform. Just go down there in the description. You'll see all the links that he just mentioned right there. And you were telling me, I see this coffee that you have in your hand. Yep. You were telling me about this little coffee shop out in Wildemar, right?
Got to give a shout out to Montague's.
There you go.
So just to kind of touch back on the journey too, like when I was first, last year when I was releasing that EP, almost about a year exactly, about April time, I was deciding for myself. I was working in wine country, kind of over, pouring wine and doing all that, and the music was starting to be maybe something that could be feasible, but I needed practice. I needed to kind of learn some more covers and get time. And there was this beautiful little mom and pop shop that opened up in Wildemar, California. Montague Brothers, family owned, veteran owned, and just super, super at home kind of feel. So I walked in there one day, literally just like, hey, like, they had a little makeshift kind of 2x4 stage they have out back in a really cool yard. And I'm always kind of scanning. I just thought this would be a really good place to kind of like a training gym. Like, plug my new gear in and just treat it like practice, because I was trying to get videos and trying to get it in. So when I go to wine country, I could show these people, hey, I've already been kind of doing the thing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Not so much fake it till you make it, but kind of sort of, just kind of getting the practice in. And they were just so cool. It was just like, oh yeah, power chords in the back, no problem at all. But what it turned into is this beautiful thing where they started doing open mics once a month. And it brought in like all these other really cool artists. And you see so many different walks of life, a lot of young kids, a lot of high schoolers. You see a lot of older dudes. I mean, just all sorts of walks of life as far as music goes. I've seen Christian rap from jazz to just all sorts of crazy stuff. And now they do music every Saturday and Sunday morning from 9:30 to 10:30. But it's just become like a great home base for me. It's where I do my work. It's where I post. It's where I'm emailing people. It's made me realize how important the community is out there. and how we all kind of, like we were saying earlier in touching, we just need each other too, and just to encourage each other. You know, if I'm not playing, it would behoove me not to go show up and just say, hey man, that sounded great. Or like you said, you needed that, you know, I said you guys kind of needed the space here. Well, I needed someone like me to go encourage and tell them to keep going. So be the person that you needed when you were younger, kind of thing, right? So, and that shop has been, I mean, I'm quite literally the redheaded stepchild. Like we always joke, I'm in there every day. I was in there before I left. So it's been a huge part of my testimony and why I'm so busy now too. So
that's really cool.
They let me practice until I started getting gigs. And now,
and I want to touch back on something that you said, because that was real key. And I think it would very much benefit a lot of artists that are just starting, or even they're like beginning and like, I'm doing all the right things. What else do I need to do? When you go to these, you know, places, right? Just ask, first off, like, can I play here? You guys have a little stage. What's going on? Most of the time it's like, yeah, we have open mics, this, sign up. This is the person who runs it. And then the second thing too is like, you have your phone, just film it.
Film it, yeah.
Film it, chop it up, post it, and then use that. That's almost like, I'm gonna date myself just a little bit because I was right there. But that's almost like, you know, you used to go in with your CD or tape to these record labels and like, here's what I have, and it was like recorded on a little 8-track. Or you know, I also used a Xbox 360 had a Guitar Hero microphone, and it was USB. I plugged it in one time, and I was like, this actually works on the computer. I recorded a whole album on just that one microphone, and I brought it to a studio, and they were like, okay, I get what you're going for. Let's make it nice. You know?
But that's the resilience of like being able to take what you have and work with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and not be scared to give too. I mean, last year in the beginning, I was doing so many gigs. I mean, stuff for really cheap, stuff for free, you know, and I think a lot of us, we start kind of just like wanting right away. It's like, I'm a songwriter and I do all this. How come no one's booking me? I would also just encourage everybody, like, don't be like, do stuff for free. Like, put yourself out there. Like, I know like busking or being out front, sometimes as artists, we're too big for things, or we have that 3-letter word, the ego, right? And I've realized your ego is not always your amigo. It's like, you know, I don't want to like waste my energy and time all the time either, but you gotta be, I think there's a motivational speaker, he talks about the jab, right hook thing. It's like, you gotta kind of give, and then you can ask, you know? So be willing to like, go to local shops, like just put your tip jar out, you know? It's really about networking. Even if you leave a 3-hour gig and I only meet one person, I have that one connection, you know, it takes a long time. So it's just willing to be patient and understand that like, you are going in the right direction, you know, because not everyone's always watching too. You might have a gig where there's no one watching you, but perfect time to bust your camera out. Oh, no one's here. Well, instead of getting upset about it, this is a perfect time for me to film myself or, you know, make a reel later or whatever. Just keep yourself motivated and creative too.
Those shows when no one would show up, I would always say to the band, because sometimes, you know, we'd get discouraged and stuff. I would just say to them, I was like, this is going to be the highest quality practice we've ever had.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
This is going to be so good.
Yeah.
And it just took that mental shift, and it was like, okay, cool.
Absolutely. You know? We all have those shows where there's glasses clanking and no one's listening, and you're like, man, I know I played that really well, but no one noticed. And it's like, you just kind of have to know where you're at, you know, as a musician. And for me, like, everything leads to something more. Like, this gig tonight is going to help for tomorrow, and this is going to pay towards my originals, or this is a great time to try that new song or film. So I think just having those tools in your tool belt, because our minds it's the battlefield of the mind, and we're always going to way to discourage, especially as an artist, you're going to discourage yourself or feel like lame some nights, but you know, find a way to talk yourself out of it.
Exactly.
Talk yourself off the ledge.
Right. No, I love it. I love it. And you know, and then it's cool that you're solo. There's nothing wrong with being in a band or anything, but it makes it a little easier to, you know, make decisions and stuff, right? I know with what helped with my band in particular is when one of us wasn't feeling it, usually the other guys were, you know, and then vice versa. So that helped. So when you're solo and you're doing your own stuff, you kind of have to be that hype man for yourself and marketing and all that other stuff. So
that's where the reading and the motivational quotes and all that stuff, anything you can instill in yourself. So
exactly. And then just, you know, talk to people about it. There's other artists, you know, when you're at these places, you know, everyone's working towards the same goal. You know, and just talk about it, you know, and do that network. And then you never know who they know, who they can connect you with or whatever that is. Right. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely. I think there was a lot of good, you know, meat that we got to in this podcast here. You know, I definitely, again, I want to thank you for sitting down and playing your music for us, letting us, you know, do this interview and really just blessing this whole studio space with your whole, you know, aura about you. I love it. So
no, thank you guys. It's been an honor, been a privilege to even be here and be able to do these kind of things. So I look forward to see what you guys cook up with your success, and I'll be back for sure. We'll do some more songs. And,
awesome.
I look forward to it, man.
Heck yeah. So again, all the links in the description below. Check it out and just show some love and support for Travis over here. So
absolutely. Thank you guys again, man.